afternoon from Lynn's kitchen. It's Monday the 30th of March and we've managed to survive just over 1 week of lockdown. And yes, isn't it weird? Everything's so quiet and we're all in the house and having to find things to do. And needless to say, my thing to do is to resort back to the kitchen. But rather than bake anything today, I thought I'd make a tortilla stack, which is absolutely delicious for a meal in the evening with salad and coleslaw. Or it can be cut into wedges and eaten for lunch, cold or hot, or you can even freeze it down. So I'm going to make a full one today, which will do us for our dinner, and then there'll still be some left over that I can put in the freezer. So what I need is, I've got 4 tortillas, soft, white. Now you can use wholemeal or whatever you've got in the house, but I've just got some white flour tortillas. Then you need some spinach, or if you've got maybe some rocket in the house, in the fridge that needs used up. Or do you know those little bags of mixed lettuce leaves? They'll do fine too, the little soft lettuce leaves. I've also got 2 scallions. I've got some cherry tomatoes. I've got a little bit of roasted pepper and a bit of ham. Again, that can be chicken, it can be bacon, you can keep it vegetarian and not put any meat in it at all. You also need plenty of grated cheese, and I've just got a mixture of mozzarella and cheddar. And you need some pesto. Now I've got a green pesto here, which just what I have in my fridge. Or I have a lovely tomato one as well, but I'm going to use green pesto today. And then I've just got some chutney in my cupboard. So it's a tomato chutney, and it works well with this stack too. So just a mixture of 2 different chutneys or pestos. Actually, red onion chutney is also delicious in this as well. And then I've just got a little bit of black pepper and some herbs. So as it suggests, it's a stack. So what I need is a baking tray, and I've just put some greaseproof paper on it. If you don't have any, it doesn't matter, but it does tend to the bottom layer just tends to stick to your baking tray. So make sure you oil it if you don't have any greaseproof paper. And we'll put our first tortilla on the bottom. And then I'm going to use the green pesto first. And I'm just going to put a good spoonful of it on the bottom, and I'm going to spread that over the bottom of the bottom layer of the stack. Just might need a little bit more, just enough to spread, and just try and spread out to the edges as well, just so you don't get any really dry bits along the way. So it's really up to you what way you want to stack it. So I think I would put into this layer, I'll put some spinach. So I'm going to make it my green layer. So I put a few spinach leaves in there, and then I'm going to put in, I just got enough, put in some scallions. And just sprinkle a few of those on. This is going to be my green layer. So I've got my green pesto, my green spinach and my green scallions, and really it doesn't matter. And I'll just put a little bit of ham into this layer as well. So I'm just going to slice up a little bit of ham. It's just luncheon ham, there's nothing special, but a little bit of leftover chicken from your roast, or a little bit of gammon, or as I say, bacon, or you can just keep it vegetarian and roast off some nice vegetables, and would be lovely courgettes and aubergines and things can go into that too. It's really up to yourself, and it's a good way of just using up bits and pieces that are in your fridge. So then I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of, so here we've got our spinach onto the layer, and we've got some ham and some scallions. So that's our green layer. And I'm just then going to sprinkle a little bit of cheese over the top. Not too much, because it gets a bit oily if you do too much. And that's my first layer. So now actually you could just make a little pizza with these. These are great as pizza bases as well, and just top it as you like with these sort of things. But I'm going to pile them up and make a stack. So my second layer goes on, and press it down nicely, and I'm going to use the tomato chutney this time to spread over the tortilla. And I'm going to make this my red layer. So I've got nice tomato. Now, if you don't have a tomato chutney, either you could have a sun-dried tomato paste, or if you've got maybe a jar of Dolmio tomato sauce in the cupboard, or if you've got even just tinned tomatoes. Not this wouldn't have as much flavour, the tinned tomatoes, but something along those lines will give you a nice tomatoey layer. So that's going to be my red layer, and into that, obviously, I'm going to put my roasted peppers. So I'll just put that to one side, and I need to just slice up some roasted peppers. These are the ones that you can buy in the jar already roasted, but when we've got all this time on our hands, why not roast up some of your own peppers? So just take them, de-seed them, cut them into pieces, drizzle a little bit of olive oil over the top of them, and pop them into your oven for 15 to, well, maybe a bit longer, maybe about half an hour. And that will give you some nice roast peppers, and I'd probably do that now going forward, because I just had a couple of those at the back of the fridge and I thought, you know what, I'm going to use them up. So then I've got some cherry tomatoes, and I'm just going to cut them in half, and we're going to put those in with the peppers. Again, you could roast these down too at the same time as the peppers, and that would be delicious too. And you can have sort of like concentrates the flavours a little bit more. So I'm just going to sprinkle then the red peppers and the cherry tomatoes onto my next layer of my tortilla stack. Lovely. And I think because I haven't roasted these myself, I'm just going to do a little bit of black pepper at this layer, and a little bit of mixed herb. So that's a mixed sort of herbs, or herb de Provence. So that's nice, Italian herbs. And that's just lovely over the top of that. That'll add a little bit more flavour to that layer. Just washing my hands. And then just again, just a little bit of cheese, not too much. Again, this is a lovely pizza. There we are. We could have another pizza, but we're going to keep stacking. So that's that one. And then we go back to green. So next layer on, press that right down nicely. Just keeps them. And then we're going to put some more pesto on the top. Now I'm just doing 4 tortillas, but you know, if you're feeding more people, you can pile it a little bit higher and just cut smaller wedges whenever you're cutting it up. So I'm just going to spread this, spread right out to the edges. So you get flavour right out to the edge. And then we'll go back with the rest of our nice spinach, baby spinach this is. That gives you plenty of nutrients, nice vitamin B and iron in your spinach. Some more scallion. And a little bit more ham. Just slicing up the ham, and just sprinkle that around. And I mean, there's no reason why you can't put olives or, and you know, basically put whatever you fancy in it. But I'm just trying to use up a few little bits and pieces that are floating around in my fridge, and I don't want to waste anything at the minute. Because I went out to the groceries, and although everybody was very good, and the spacing and the when you're going around the shopping and the till and everything, it was all great, but I just find it so stressful being out and about just at the minute that I really don't want to go back to the grocery store until I really have to. So I'm using up as many of my leftovers as I can. So this is our final layer. Again, I'm pressing it down nicely. And I'm just going to finish that layer off with the tomato chutney. I'm just going to spread that right out to the edge. And top it with cheese, and this is your top layer, so it's just going to be crunchy. The cheese is just going to be nice and crispy on top when it cooks in the oven. So I've set the oven, while I have been preparing this, I have the oven at 180 degrees centigrade on a fan oven. That would be 190 normal oven, and it would be gas mark 6. And it'll take about 20 minutes or so. So you just want to make sure it's hot right through, that the cheese is melted on top, and that you're not getting it too crunchy around the outside. So I'm going to pop this in the oven, and I'll bring it out to you in about 20-25 minutes and show you what it looks like. We'll see you soon. So the stack's been in the oven for just about 20 minutes, maybe not even 20 minutes. And as you can see, it's looking lovely and golden. The top's lovely and crispy, the cheese is all melted, and that is as much cooking as it needs, and it's ready to serve. So you can serve it hot, which I'm going to do now. I'm just going to get a chopping board and pop it on. Oh. There we go. Not the most glamorous sliver that, but there we are. So we've got it now, and I'm just going to cut a nice big wedge out of it. As I say, this is absolutely delicious served hot like this. And I'm just going to serve it on a plate with some coleslaw and just some leaves. Like so. Or you can serve it cold with salad as well. And as I say, it freezes perfectly, just wrap portions into tin foil, and it freezes perfectly, and you can just bring it out when you need it for a snack or a lunch or a supper or whatever. So I hope this has given you a little quick and easy supper that you can make, and as I say, you can change the fillings as much as you like, but it's really tasty and I love it, and just with a little bit of coleslaw and a little bit of leaves. So till the next time, see you again.